Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Dr. Paul with another mail call. This one is a couple of Golden Age beauties. I think this box might have been from the Crippen Pedigree collection, not sure, but it's got the D designation on it. Let's see what we've got. I think I'm going to set this here. We have boxes inside boxes. Might give you an idea of market value of what we're looking at. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Dr. Paul Cosmic, and I've been collecting comic books for over 40 years. And the channel here is how I share my passion and experience for comic book collecting, market prices, and conservation efforts. We got 2 books in this shipment, and these are really important to me for my personal collecting goals. So I'm really excited about them. These were a little bit of a treat for myself around the Christmas season. And I hope you enjoy them as much as I'm sure I will. So first up, we have this Golden Age beauty. Well, as I like to say, what is it? And why should we care about this book? After all, it's just some paper, almost 80 years old now. Wow, what a beautiful book. I just need a second to take it in. Well, what it is All-Star Comics number 17 in a CGC 7.0 with off-white to white pages. It's the June-July issue, written by Gardner Fox, with art by Joe Gallagher, Sheldon Moldoff, Jack Kirby, Bernard Bailey, Howard Sherman, and Paul Reinman. For those of you not familiar, All-Star Comics is the title that gave us the very first superhero team. This is where superhero teams were invented. The Justice Society of America debuted in issue number 3 in November 1940. And in that issue, the first gathering of superheroes ever in any comic book occurs. The Atom, the Flash, Sandman, the Spectre, Hawkman, Dr. Fate, Green Lantern, and Hourman are all gathering at a hotel to have a dinner together as the Justice Society of America. Johnny Thunder finds out and shows up, basically kind of crashes the dinner, and he suggests that each member share a recent adventure that they've had with the rest of the team. So they go around the table and they each relate a story, and each of those stories makes up a chapter of the book. So remember, these books are much thicker, many more pages than we have in a standard comic book today. So that's why there's so many different artists. After story time and dinner, the FBI calls, Flash dashes down to DC, and then he comes back and he tells the whole team that they're all needed in Washington, DC, and that he's pledged their help to the FBI. So they don't actually adventure together in issue number 3, but the team is referred to as the Justice Society of America, and they all meet face to face. These are both firsts for comic books. And then they start their regular adventures together in All-Star Comics number 4. And All-Star Comics features the JSA for the next 11 years. From issue number 3 in 1940 until issue number 57 in March of 1951, as the Golden Age is winding down. That issue, incidentally, is the last appearance of several of the Golden Age heroes. The JSA is chartered and the group membership changes from time to time, as does their base of operations over that 11-year period. Most of the issues have dates like this June, July, because it was published bi-monthly, and the run includes several really big keys. In addition to the first appearance of the JSA in number 3, you have the first female superheroine in all of comic books, which is Hawkgirl, in issue number 5. You have the first time Batman and Superman meet in issue number 7. And of course, the big book, the first appearance of Wonder Woman in issue number 8 with that great classic cover that's been homaged several times. It also includes first appearance of villains Brainwave, Psycho Pirate, the Wizard, Degaton, and of course, the Injustice Society. All-Star Comics is my favorite Golden Age title, and one of my life goals is to complete the Golden Age run in mid to high grade. So in issue number 17, there were 9 JSA team members. The Sandman, Johnny Thunder, the Spectre, Dr. Fate, Hawkman, Wonder Woman, Dr. Midnight, Atom, and Starman. This issue is the second appearance of Brainwave. And for those Jack Kirby fans, it's an interesting issue because the publication date is the same month Jack Kirby joined the Army. He was drafted in June of 1943. Jack Kirby contributed to 5 total issues of All-Star. Issues 14, 15, 16, 17, and 19. He penciled the Sandman chapters of each of those issues, as he was the regular penciler on Sandman in Adventure Comics at the time, until he left for war. Another interesting detail about All-Star Comics number 17 is that this is the first issue with only 60 pages. Those consist of the cover wrap and 14 inner wraps, each obviously printed on both sides and folded. All-Star Comics started in the pre-war era when the standard comic book was 68 total pages. That's the cover wrap plus 16 inner wraps. This change with 2 fewer inner wraps was made because during World War II, the War Production Board established guidelines for paper use to conserve paper for the war effort. There are only 50 universal copies of All-Star Comics number 17 in the CGC census, with a median grade of 5.5. This copy, at 7.0, is approximately at the 35th percentile. It's very difficult to place a fair market value on this comic because it trades hands so infrequently. In fact, go collect notes, not a single CGC graded sale of All-Star Comics number 17 in the past 12 months. The last sale of a 7.0 was in April of 2021, when one changed hands for $1,825 plus tax, shipping, and fees. I paid $1,250 plus tax, shipping, and I was delighted to do so, adding another high-grade All-Star comic to my personal collection at a little over 30% discount to the last sale, and getting one issue closer to my goal of completing the All-Star Comics run. I can't tell you how thrilled I am to be able to possess this, but we'll get back to that in a moment. We have another book to open. This is another All-Star book from the same vendor. This is a later book, and it's in slightly higher grade as well. In fact, this is one of the highest graded of this particular issue in the CGC census. Wow, look at that. That's just beautiful. This cover reminds me a bit of Brave and the Bold number 28, the first JLA. So what is this one? Why do we care about it? This is All-Star Comics number 43 from October-November 1948 in a CGC 9.0 off-white pages. This particular issue is written by John Broome in 3 parts, and it's illustrated by Art Petty and Erwin Hassan, who also drew this really great sci-fi cover. In this issue, the JSA is headquartered in Civic City, and has 7 team members, namely Green Lantern, Hawkman, The Flash, Black Canary, The Atom, Wonder Woman, and Dr. Midnight. This post-war book has a more sci-fi feel to it, with the giant robot and the alien Goldmen, and the story features dimensional travel and atomic age themes typical of the post-war superhero books. By this time, standard comic books are only 52 pages, the cover wrap, and just 12 inner wraps. The story is a bit more tightly plotted and illustrated to tell a cohesive story in 3 parts. There are 48 universal copies of All-Star Comics number 43 in the CGC census, with a median grade of 7.0. At 9.0, this copy is in the 12th percentile. Really amazing for a nearly 75-year-old golden age comic. Go collect Note's just 5 sales of CGC slabbed copies in the last 12 months, and only 1 sale in the last 90 days. That was for a copy in 7.5. With this issue, just like issue number 17, it's very difficult to place a fair market value on this rare a book that changes hands so infrequently in the grade that we're interested in. But the most recent pertinent sale to this copy is the sale of the 8.5 copy from the Promise collection in April, which traded hands for $1,680 plus tax and shipping and buyer's premium. I paid $1,750 plus tax and shipping for this higher graded copy, and now this is the highest graded all-star comic in my collection, so I feel that was a small price to pay to get me one step closer to completing my high-grade all-star comics collection, and for a book that's in the 13th percentile in terms of grade in the CGC census. Long-term followers of my channel know that I consider myself but a humble caretaker of these treasures, with a duty to preserve them for future generations. Being able to own one of these comics is an embarrassment of riches, I know, let alone multiples. And I do know just how fortunate I am to be able to acquire these treasures. These books are both for my personal collection, and they're exceedingly rare. As I've discussed before, you typically need to pay market prices to acquire books like this. Generally, for books that have been printed in large numbers and preserved in large numbers, I'm a real bargain hunter. But if you're trying to bargain hunt these kinds of books, you may only be able to acquire one every few years. With my personal collecting goal of completing All-Star Comics' original run of 57 issues, acquiring both of these comics during this bear market when sellers are offering them for realistic prices or discounted to the last book sold is how I want to be putting some of my capital to work right now at the end of 2022. I hope you enjoyed this video on these 2 golden age beauties. I'll be looking to add as many more reasonably priced mid to high grade all-star comics to my personal collection toward my goal of completing the original run. Stay tuned for more unboxing videos in the near future. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments below what your collecting goals are. What run are you trying to chase down? Until next time, happy hunting and take care of one another.